Hi everyone, in this video I'll be reading part 1 of Can I Stay With You? There has been some changes since I wrote the rough draft, which I do have a video of me reading the rough draft of this, so if you want to check that out you can. So I've titled it Can I Stay With You? Audio recording not complete, which is what I'm doing at this moment. My characters, Jerry, Ty, Rudy, Jackson, and Rudy-Jackson and Kim. Characters that are mentioned but have zero lines, so references. Hannah Montana. I use that abbreviation for another character as well, so I was like, which one? Hannah Montana. Sid, Robbie, and Alicia are referenced but don't have any speaking lines. Wrote this originally June 12th, 2023 and finished it June 12th, 2023. I typed it March 20th, 2025 at 5:53 p.m. and finished typing it April 10th, 2025 at 10:31 p.m. How long does it take to read through my rough copy? 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Duration for this fanfic, good copy typed and edited. I guess, so like for the good copy, I was guessing 13 to 18 minutes. How long does it take to read through the rough copy? And this includes me editing it as well as I'm like going through and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to fix that. Oh, I need to fix that. So that's why it's, how long does it take to read the good copy is 20 minutes and 24 seconds. But when I was going through to find out where I was going to put the part 2, it was more like 14-ish minutes. So the time's all around the place. So, whoopsie. Alright. APS is another picture slide, which is a abbreviation I made when I was first making videos on this channel. So, which meant each character had a picture slide and then text of what they were saying. So that would be, so if I needed multiple pictures of that character for the scene, that would be each APS would be another picture slide. So that would be each picture slide would be individual. Okay, hope it makes sense. But that was more referencing to when I first started out, and I just liked it, so I'm just keeping it in. Alright, I'm sorry for the long intro. This story has, I should add that, has 2 parts. Before I start, MMJ, which is myself, the author, staging action and time jumps, so whenever that happens, you'll see MMJ. This is a crossover fanfic of the TV shows Kickin It, Hannah Montana, and Sydney to the Max. So, typed version edited from April 13th, 2025 at 4:55 p.m. to June 6th, 2025, which was the day before I'm filming this, at 6:58 p.m. That's when I edited it, kind of thing. Alright. How long to read before Grammarly edit? 14 minutes to 49 seconds. And after was 20 minutes and 24 seconds. Alright, so here. Usually I'd include this little chunk at the end of the story, but I just need to explain some things here. So, I will be referencing one of my previous fanfics in this story. I'm trying to speedily do this, so anyway. I will be referencing one of my previous fanfics in this story called Jackson Leaves Malibu. There are 3 versions of it on my channel. One is videos with pictures and text, which is what I was referencing earlier, which you may have to hit pause on quite frequently while reading, because I didn't know how to work the duration button at the time when I was editing it. I didn't know that was a thing. Then I have the second version, which is reading the first full draft, and a third version, which is reading each part in a separate video, but fully edited. So, you could check out all of them, or just one of them, whatever you feel like doing. Alright, on with the story now. I'm sorry for the long intro. I promise you, now here's the story. Okay? Alright, awesome. If you're still with, if you stayed here this whole time, thank you. I get distracted easily. I'll try and focus. Alright. Can I stay with you? Is the title. So, in the dojo, Jerry asks, "Hey Rudy, can I stay with you for a few days? My aunt and uncle are going to see my brother in Malibu, and because of the tournament coming up, I can't join them. Please?" Rudy, slightly annoyed, says, "Can't you ask one of your friends?" "I did. Their parents said no." "Please," says Jerry. Rudy explains, "Fine. I'll just give my roommate a call. Will you excuse me for a minute?" Jerry allows. "Yes, go ahead." Rudy goes to his office to make the call. 3 calls going to voicemail later. Rudy is now out of his office and with Jerry. Rudy explains, "Well, he didn't answer. He must be at work. But I'm sure he'll be fine with it," says Rudy. Jerry, shocked. "You live with a dude? Just curious, are you..." Rudy informs, "No, we're both straight." Now, just to be clear, I'm all for love who you love. Don't misinterpret that. I just don't see these characters as anything more than straight. So, don't misinterpret that. Anyway, on with the story. "So, just platonic friends," says Jerry. Rudy explains, "Yes. You can keep a secret, right?" asks Rudy. Jerry says honestly, "Of course. What's the secret?" Rudy explains, "I just wanted to make sure. I'll give you more details on the car ride to my place." The 2 are now in the car. Rudy notifies, "Okay, so you'll be finding out stuff about me while you're here. That has to be a secret. I say this because there's no way you could live with me for a few days and not find out." "What kind of dark secrets do you have?" says Jerry, intrigued. Rudy says, "You'll find out when we get home." Rudy explains, or tells, let's use a different word. Man, I overuse tells a lot. Let's go with notifies. Alright. Rudy then notifies, saying, "My roommate is a big fan of the Black Dragon's dojo. So, you will see a lot of Black Dragon merch. And it's all his. Also, he gave me a place to stay when I first moved out here. I talk more about that in Jackson Leaves Malibu, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. That's a side note. Back to the story. Alright. And, okay, also he gave me a place when I first moved out here, so there will be no trash talking him. And believe me, it will be tempting. But I ask you to sip it with that kind of stuff. And you will probably misjudge him at first. Once you get to know him, you'll see how nice he really is." "Alright, here we are, my home," says Rudy. Jerry grabs his things from the car. Then Rudy locks the car. I had locks, but Grammarly didn't like it. So, I wanted the word locks, but Grammarly kept wanting to correct it to just lock the car. Okay. It could use some adjustments, this Grammarly. It's great, but there are certain words it doesn't like really and actually and literally. It doesn't like words like that for some odd reason. It'll go through the trouble of correcting it and then go through and tell me, "Oh, this sentence does it. You don't need that word in that sentence. So why'd you bother correcting it in the first place?" Ugh. Okay. Anyway. Sorry. That's a side note. I promise. I'm sorry. ADHD moment. Back on topic. Alright. Alright, here we are. My home, says Rudy. Jerry grabs his things from the car. Then Rudy locks the car. The 2 have entered the main entrance. Both are on the main-middle level of the house. If you include the basement as a level of the house. That's kind of my thought process there. Is if you include the basement as a level of the house, then they're on the middle. Kind of thing. Anyway, on with the story. They are both on the main-middle level of the house. Neither have any idea that Rudy's roommate is home. His roommate parked in the back, while Rudy parked in the front, and is in the upstairs home office deciding what his roommate. Sorry, let me clarify. His roommate's is in the upstairs home office deciding what students receive what belts. So, Jerry, surprised, says, "Wow, you weren't kidding about your roommate's fandom." Rudy agrees. "I know, right?" Roommate says as he walks down the stairs, "Jackson, are you home?" Jerry, confused, "Wait, who the heck is Jackson?" The roommate tells, "Look, I heard you moving around." Having not seen him yet, still haven't fully descended the stairs, if that makes sense. "Look, I can hear you moving around. Can I have your half of the rent now?" "I'm going to drop that off while I'm out. Then I'm going to do a few quick errands. Do you need anything?" Just normal roommate stuff. Rudy hands over the rent check. "Right, here you go." Roommate says, "I'm also going to pick up some groceries. Do you need anything?" Rudy quickly says, "Yes, bananas and muffins," rushingly while trying to hide Jerry. "Go, quickly!" Kind of standing in front of Jerry and blocking them from seeing each other. It's kind of how I envision that. Alright, 3 seconds later, Jerry sees who Rudy's roommate is. Blah, blah, blah. Jerry, shocked. "Wait, you live with Ty?" Again, more detail about that in Jackson Leaves Malibu fanfic that I wrote. Let's check that out if you want. Rudy reminds, "That's what I was calling about earlier. Looking to Ty. A student of mine needed a place to stay for a few days. I hope it's okay." Jerry, surprised, figuring it out. "So this is the big secret you're referring to." "Don't worry, I won't say anything." "Man, I did not see that coming." Ty allows, "It's okay with me." Jerry, confused, "But I thought you two didn't get along. I've seen you guys arguing." Ty reveals, "It's all staged." Jerry, surprised, "So does that mean you practice your arguments?" Rudy reveals, "Yes, we do." Hands over some papers. "Here's a script from our last tournament." I think it'd be really funny to find out that their whole feud has been staged. I think that would be so funny. Oh, that would be so awesome. Okay, anyway, here's a script from our last tournament. Jerry, surprised, says, "Okay, wow, but isn't this a bit much?" Rudy explains, "No, we're on competing dojos, so it would make more sense for us to be enemies than friends." Ty notifies, "So we stage our fights ahead of time." Jerry, confused, "Okay. Wait, Ty called you Jackson. Why would he do that unless you're really Jackson Stewart?" I'm surprised Gremlin let me get away with that, really, but I probably misspelled it, and that's why it's okay with it. Anyway, "You're really Jackson Stewart?" Rudy, surprised, "How did you know that?" "You're really Jackson Stewart." Sorry, let me correct the tone. Jerry says, "Okay, wait. Ty called you Jackson. Why would he do that unless you're really Jackson Stewart?" Rudy, surprised, "How did you know that?" Jerry explains, "Well, to summarize, Robbie's performing again, leaving your sister without a manager, and since my brother has a photographic memory, the choice was quite obvious." That's it for part 1. I'll give you a little hint. His brother is also in Hannah Montana. So, there's a little coming up there. Alright, anyway, hope you enjoyed this story. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm sorry it took so long and I got distracted and all that. So, my apologies. But you know what? It's real. I'll be real with you. I get distracted easily. Okay, anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching.